Good afternoon, this is Rich Nelson with Allendale for the wrap-up comments. Today's Wednesday, March 14th of 2012. U.S. dollar up 38 points here today. That normally would be a bearish influence here as far as commodity prices. Overall, though, keep in mind the U.S. dollar has been in an uptrend now for about 2 weeks or so. So the fact that we are still seeing these higher grain prices, even in the face of this pressure from a higher U.S. dollar, is something to consider here. Corn's action today down about 3 1/4 cents. Beans up 1 1/2, and wheat down about 5 1/4 here. As far as grain news, the weekly ethanol production report came out today for corn. Last week's ethanol production at 892,000 barrels per day finally fell to a below last year level. So keep in mind, for many, many months we've been running production higher than last year. We now just finally slipped to lower than last year. And this is, of course, due to those ethanol production margins, which have been pretty mixed to ugly in the past 3 months here. So overall, we do have ethanol production now turning that corner, and now we will see ethanol production running steady to lower than last year. But keep in mind, we've done such a great job in the first half of the marketing year that we can run as much as 4% lower from now through the rest of the year and actually still meet USDA's pretty low target for ethanol production. For beans, we've got to point out, of course, they started out discussing the Argentine dock worker strike, the fact that it has been temporarily suspended until next week here. So with this in mind, the trade's not quite ready to call the end to the uptrend yet, but we've got to point out this is taking possibly one of the bullish issues off the table here for soybeans. So if we can get the Argentina back into active mooring, active loading those ships, and active exports, it is something to consider here. Keep in mind, Argentina is the #1, or say the #2 corn exporter, but the #1 soybean oil exporter and soybean meal exporter here. Other news today for beans, NOPA crush came out today, a full 9% higher than last year in the same month. This is, of course, for February. So that's pretty darn good, and it will cause us here at Allendale to feel confident about our higher than USDA crush estimate for the total year. Over on wheat, down 5 1/4 cents. Keep in mind, wheat, of course, always follows corn to speak of, and corn was a little lower today. But on top of that, we have these what's really great growing conditions right now for this winter wheat crop, and the fact that it's certainly doing much better than people were thinking it would be just 2 or 3 months ago. For news on livestock, cattle down 57 cents here today. Kind of a slate of mixed to ugly news here. A midday box beef down a full $1.62 for choice, down $1.29 for select. So that's a bearish influence here. Wholesale beef moving lower. As far as cash cattle, we haven't seen anything going on here just yet. But keep in mind, packers only have bids at $1.24 compared to offers of $1.29. And most last week's action happened at $1.27. So packers are being very surprisingly hard negotiators on this cash cattle market, and that may keep this market from posting that strong rebound that we were hoping for, maybe starting this week. It might maybe have a small rebound here, maybe towards the end of the month here. Over on hogs, down 25 cents. Not a whole lot of brand new news to speak of on hogs. Kind of a mixed trade here as far as cash hog prices. Mixed action as far as wholesale pork prices. Right now we're just waiting for this buying to finish up as we look to finish up this Easter 8th holiday period here. So keep in mind, Easter comes about a week early, so we will see retailers finish up procurement for that period about a week early as well. So look for a steady to lower trend in hog prices and cash pork prices for the rest of this month here. Overall, biggest thing here at Allendale, of course, is not just these little short-term stories for little news pieces for day-to-day action, but our bigger picture Allendale acreage survey. The results of our 23rd annual survey will be out Friday morning. This will be certainly very closely watched by the trade, closely watched by government officials as well, because this is the first strong survey-based estimate that's going to come out, and this comes out a full 2 weeks in front of USDA's own number. So get a hold of Allendale here to find out those numbers Friday. If you aren't on the web, our phone number here is 1-800-262-7538. This is Rich Nelson. Have a good trading day and a good trading week.